Good afternoon. It is just about 1 o'clock, but it looks like we are waiting for most of our committee members. So we'll definitely give it until 1:05. Hello, good afternoon. It is 1 p.m. and I am starting to admit people into the meeting. I think we're going to give it a few minutes. Hello, Vice Chair.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
I was just saying, I think we're going to give it a couple of more minutes. Everybody came in at the same time, so I'm glad to see everyone.
That's a good sign.
Yes.
Takes me out.
Vice Chair Page, I think we need at least 6.
Okay.
I think we might be there.
Oh, let's go. That's awesome.
Okay. I'll go ahead and start it.
Sorry,
Okay.
this is Ryan. You said we might be there. Are we there or are we not?
It looks like we are there,
Okay.
Ryan.
All right, proceed then.
Okay. Good afternoon and welcome to the subcommittee meeting for the Technical Assistance for Governor's Interagency Advisory Council on Homelessness. This meeting has been publicly noticed and in compliance with Nevada's open meeting law. Vice Chair Brooke Page will call the meeting to order.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's exactly 1:02 p.m. and I'd like to call the December 19th, 2023 meeting of the Nevada Interagency Council on Homelessness Subcommittee for Technical Assistance to order. And then will our moderator, Niani, would you mind please taking the roll call?
Yeah. Chairwoman Michelle Fuller-Hallauer. Karen Van Hest. Noga Valdez. Dr. Pamela Janelle.
Present.
Chris Murphy.
I'm here.
Vice Chair Brooke Page.
Present.
Austin Pollard.
Present.
Christy Costa, sorry.
Present.
And Lorena Loomis.
Present.
Bill Ennis. Scott Benton. Madam Vice Chair, we do have quorum.
Yay. Okay. Thank you so much, Niani. And so item number 2 on the agenda is public comment. And so here, no action may be taken upon a matter raised under this matter until the matter has been specifically added to the agenda. So comments are limited to 3 minutes. And if you are making a public comment via phone, we ask that you please call 1-775-321-6111. And the ID number is 847-312-658 and pound. And the password is X as in xylophone, H as in Harry, M as in man, D as in dog, F as in Frank, and W as in walrus. We are now open for public comment, so please unmute yourself and state your name for the council. All right. No public comment. Last final chance if you're trying to call in. Okay. Well, let's move on to agenda item number 3. We'll close that item. And this item number 3 is for possible action of minutes and approval of the minutes from November 21st, 2023. Would love to entertain a motion or if there's any comments about the minutes. Everybody have a chance to review the minutes? Okay, seeing none, can we get a motion for approval?
I would like to make a motion to approve the minutes from November 2023 for the Technical Assistance Subcommittee. And again, this is Austin Pollard.
Thank you, Austin. Can we get a second?
This is Dr. Pam Janelle. I second the motion.
Wonderful. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of approval of the minutes, state by saying aye.
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 Any opposition, state by saying nay. And are there any abstentions? Okay, seeing none, the motion passes. Thank you so much. So let's move on to item number 4. We're just moving right along. This action item is a discussion and a possible vote to begin solicitation for new members to join the Technical Assistance Subcommittee. So let's open this up for discussion. We've got an opportunity to, discuss new members to join. I think we had a discussion about this at our last meeting and wanted to kind of determine how many members we wanted for this body and if we wanted to open it up since we're starting a new year and we've got some vacancies. So any thoughts about new membership? Do we want to increase? Yes, go ahead, Dr.
This is
Donnell.
Dr. Pam Janelle for the record. I would be curious, and I may have missed it, so please forgive me, to know like where we are with membership. Are we like holding steady or did we lose some people? I know that there have been some changes, so just curious to know where we are with membership currently, if that's okay to ask.
Yes. Niani, would you be able to help us with that question?
Yes, Madam Vice Chair. So you started with 13 members. Now there's currently 11.
All right. So technically we have 2 vacancies that we need to fill if we want to fill those, or can we keep it at 11 if we so choose?
You can absolutely keep it at 11 if you so choose.
Okay. All right. So I know that getting a quorum has been something that we have had some challenges with in the past. 6 feels like a really great number. We've had quorum consistently for the last few meetings. So would love to get your all's thoughts about possibly keeping us where we're at. We did a big recruitment this year, brought on some great members that have been consistent. And I feel like we're finally getting to a place where we're gelling, but want to open it up for your discussion and get your thoughts.
This is Lorena Lemus with for the record.
Hi, Lorena.
I think like we do have a good group, but I do think there might be a little bit more people that would be interested in this type of group, and especially with like the strategic plan coming. So I don't know if it would be something, because I know some of the people that might not be in our group anymore did have a lot of, had signed up for some of the strategic issues. And so maybe bringing on some other members that would be just as passionate about like doing this kind of work and addressing those would maybe be good. But I honestly, I don't know feedback as far as like how many people to bring on or like that process. But I think there could be room to like fill those vacant seats that we currently have.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Lorena. Brooke, for the record, I agree with you. I think if there's interest, and I know that we have a consistent group of folks that show up to our meetings that are in our peanut gallery. And so, you know, I think if there's an opportunity maybe to put out a call of interest to see if there's folks that are interested in joining this body, I think it would be important to open that up if you all think that that's important. I can see both sides, so thanks for bringing that up. Yes, Dr. Janelle.
Yes, Dr. Pam Janelle for the record. Along with those lines, because I'm always like ever learning. Do we actually have like a process that we use for recruiting, or is it like just annually, or is it like twice a year? I'm just asking just kind of to, just like better understand, or do we just like if our membership drops below a certain number, it prompts us to recruit. I was just curious if we recruit membership at regular intervals. I guess I should have just said that.
That's a great question. Niani, you want to help us with that?
Yes, I would say there's not a minimum number that have to sit on this committee. This committee has had as few as 6 members since I've been managing the homeless to housing unit. So, and there have been 2 recruitments in the last 2 years for members. So there's not necessarily a minimum number. The one thing I would always say to consider is if it's too big, then obviously you need more members to meet that quorum number. So that's just something to keep in mind.
Great, thank you, Niani. Yes, Austin, you got a question?
Yes, Austin Pollard for the record. I do see value in opening a new recruiting opportunity. I think in the space we're discussing, it's ever evolving, and it is always helpful to have new faces on here sharing new information. I do know kind of in our world that there's a lot of turnover, so I would rather be proactive rather than reactive, waiting till we can't make quorum on a regular basis before we start recruiting. To me, it sounds like it would be beneficial to have a recruiting schedule, or possibly just keep our feelers out for people in the community who want to be a part of it. We don't have to always recruit, but I think there's a lot of value in constantly creating that opportunity for somebody to join and share their information with us.
A great point. Thank you, Austin. Dr. Janelle.
Dr. Janelle for the record. This question is directed at Austin. I was like, so you tired of hearing my voice, or you tired of hearing the words that are coming out of my mouth? And that was a joke, Austin, by the way. I do completely agree with you, and that's why I was asking about like the process and what that would look like. So thank you very much for adding, kind of like more meat to this particular subject. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I really like the idea, Brooke, page for the record, for this committee to maybe have like an open interest opportunity where folks could, throughout the year submit their interest to join. And in the event that we do have a member that leaves, to Austin's point, could that be an opportunity for us to sort of consider new members throughout the year instead of waiting for one point in time? But I don't know if that's something that's allowed in this process, Niani, or if we're beholden to just one time a year.
No, you're not beholden to one time a year. It's really up to to you guys the way you want to choose to do it. If you're, so you mean a call of interest, like maybe a listserv to say, if you're interested, submit, but you wouldn't be necessarily bringing them on?
Yeah, like if there, for the record, if there was like an ongoing, just open interest opportunity that folks at any time could submit their letter of interest, and we could sort of, review those on a rolling basis, or, kind of see if there's interest throughout the year.
Ryan, that question, I don't think, I think that's something you can choose to do. Ryan, is there any legality that would stop them from doing it that way?
No, sorry. The only thing that you would have to follow is your NRS and your bylaws. So I know that the NRS doesn't say anything about it. It just says that if the Interagency Advisory Council needs, a subcommittee, they can create one, full stop, right? I mean, and that just leaves it all up to the bylaws. So, and I don't have the bylaws in front of me, so I couldn't tell you what your bylaws say about it. But no, the short answer is no, there's not any rule on how you go about doing this.
Great. Thank you, Ryan. Okay, are there any other thoughts about or feedback on recruitment or this process? Would anybody like to make a motion of action around this for us to consider? I don't know, I think between Austin and Dr. Janelle, you all had some great ideas.
This is Dr. Janelle for the record. I move that we consider having an open recruitment process for membership with the parameters that are decided upon within this group.
Okay.
Somebody help me.
Austin Pollard, for the record, I'll second that motion.
All right, are there any discussion on the table? The only question I have about that motion, Dr. Janelle, is there, so we would open up the recruitment process and just keep it open and indefinitely, and during each meeting, check in to see if we've received any interest in this subcommittee, and sort of make a decision about those interests at that time? Is that your thought?
This is Dr. Janelle for the record. That's why I kind of left it open. That's why I was asking for help on articulating that, because I'm not the best with articulation on that. So that's where I would probably call in my brother from another mother, Mr. Pollard, and the rest of the group to help curate that. So we may have to redo the motion, and I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Austin Pollard for the record. And so I do feel like if we discussed applicants every meeting, it might take up some valuable time. So maybe we keep an open recruiting policy, and then quarterly we can discuss potential applicants, unless we are short or unable to continue to make quorum. Then I recommend that we can vote to review it monthly until the seats are filled.
Okay. Thank you, Austin. So is that a modification to the motion, and that we want to have a quarterly review process unless there is a vacancy that we need to fill? Is that accurate?
Austin Pollard for the record, yes.
Okay.
Sorry,
All
this
right.
is Ryan. Just for clarification. So you have these two recent vacancies.
Uh-huh.
Is it the plan then that those two spots on the subcommittee are now sort of going away and you won't be actively recruiting to fill those right now? And so therefore, say at your next meeting, your quorum would be 6 because you're staying at 11?
Brooke Page, for the record, I think that's what, if we minimize ourselves to 11 right now, would we allowed to increase it in the future if we received interest from community members? Or are we then stuck to 11 if we keep it at 11 right now?
Well, I think I think the record should just be clear, regardless of what your motion is. I mean, regardless of how you want to go about this, because like I said, the statute doesn't really give you any guidance on that. It just says that you can be a committee. But and just so that the record is clear, and for our purposes, we know what constitutes a quorum, I think part of any motion should probably include a provision for the size of the committee from now going forward.
Dr. Pam Janelle, for the record, that was one of the reasons why, like, my motion was very vague, and that's why I asked about like the process. And so everything that has been discussed up to this point about including like membership numbers and to meet quorum in a motion, that is totally applicable, and that helps me with my understanding as well, because those were the things that I was looking for. I like, what would constitute or trigger the need for membership recruitment, and then also what would be the process as to how often, et cetera. So thank you very much for the clarification and the discussion.
You're welcome.
Okay. So thank you both, Brooke, for the record. So for the purposes of our meeting minutes and the motion that's on the table, it sounds like we want to, the motion is for us to consider an open recruitment process. It's open indefinitely, that the committee will review quarterly unless there is a vacancy that we need to fill. And currently there are technically 2 vacancies that we need to fill. So if we keep our committee at 13, we would need to, hopefully have a discussion during our next meeting to possibly fill those vacancies if there is letters of interest. But if there's not letters of interest, we would keep our committee at 11. Is that what the motion is currently? Or did that sound accurate?
Dr. Janelle, for the record, Brooke, thank you for amending and adding to the motion. I would like to hear from the other committee members if this motion is more suffice than my original one. Thank you.
This is Lorena Lemus for the record. It makes sense to me.
Okay, great. Any other thoughts or discussion on this item? Okay, if no other discussion, can we get a second on this motion as it's been modified?
I'll second that.
Okay. And who is, for the record, who seconded it?
I apologize. This is Nolga Valadez for the record.
Hi, Nolga, thank you. All right, all in favor of the motion and the second, please respond by saying aye.
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 And any opposed, respond by saying nay. Any abstentions? Okay, the motion passes. So we'll look forward to opening up our recruitment process. So thank you so much. Okay, our next item is item number 5, and this is for information only. And so we want to go around and have a conversation about our champions report and get a status update from the Continuum of Care and our Technical Assistance Subcommittee members regarding their progress in developing content and language to be included in their assigned sections of the Nevada Strategic Plan on Homelessness, and updates will be populated during the meeting. Okay, so let's open it up, and if we have any champions that want to kick us off, I'll open up the floor.
This is Lorena Lemus. For the record, I'll go first.
Hi, Lorena.
I met with President Chair Michelle I think last week, and so we went over, because I still haven't had my initial meeting, but because I needed that one-to-one to know how to run my first meeting. So Michelle went over that with me and helped me set up kind of my agenda and figuring that out. So I will be sending my invite out after the holidays, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people are out and about. So I hope to have an update. I'm planning on scheduling it before our next meeting for this, so I have a better update for you than that I'm working on getting an update.
Yay.
But that's where
great.
I'm at on that. So that's my update for my issue.
Okay, and Lorena, for the record, could you just tell us what issue you are championing?
Yes, I forgot the number. I can't think of it, but it's coordination for primary care and behavioral health.
Okay,
And
great.
I do know that I do also need to connect with Chris Murphy, because he is my co-champion. So Chris, I will also be reaching out to you probably after the holidays to maybe set up a time to chit chat.
That'd be wonderful.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Lorena, for going first.
Austin Pollard for the record.
Hi, Austin.
I'm the champion for Northern Nevada COC. We don't have any new updates. We've gone through the strategic plan pretty deep. So all of the input that we have is maintained. It's been the same, so there's no changes as of now.
Okay. Thank you, Austin. Okay. Do we have anybody else that wants to go next?
Hi, this is Nolga Valadez for the record, and I have issue number 3, wraparound services. And I really don't have any updates from the last time, because Dr. Janelle and Karen and we met and we did create like a Google document where we all kind of wrote down things and kind of put it together. We just haven't moved forward from that, but it's documented. We just have to get it into the proper form that needs to be utilized for this, but that's about all I have. So maybe after the holidays we can get together again and just kind of finalize our thoughts.
Okay, so that's for wraparound services, Olga?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Dr. Pam Janelle for the record. And Nolga, thank you very much, because I think I did spread myself a little too thin. I'm working on education and workforce development, and I haven't had the opportunity to work on the language. However, I was looking at sending invites, because thank you all for being so kind for sharing the interest email addresses for all of the individuals to meet at the beginning of the following year, as we're doing some things with NDE that are tied into EdLife, and then all of our other partner CBOs. So I will be continuing to work on that. And then to be honest with you, I know that I'm on another team with a strategic issue, and I don't remember which one it was. So please forgive me for that. Reminders would be very helpful. Thank you.
Okay. Appreciate that. Thank you for the update. And Niani, do you have the list of assignments handy to respond to Dr. Janelle?
I do. I can go through them.
Okay.
I can either email them or go through them. So under housing, we have Vice Chair Brooke Page and Co-Chair Austin Pollard. Homelessness prevention and intervention, we have Champion Scott Benton, Co-Chair Karen Van Hest and Pamela Janelle. For wraparound services, we have Champion Noga Valdez, Co-Chair Karen Van Hest. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Sam. She brought the link up.
Awesome.
I'm sorry. And then where was it? Oh, education and workforce development. We have Brooke Page and Scott Benton. Then coordination of primary and behavioral health. We have Lorena Loomis and Chris Murphy. Coordination of data and resources, Michelle Fuller-Hellauer and Chris Murphy. Policies, we have Vice Chair Brooke Page and Bill Ennis. And then long-term planning, we have Michelle Fuller-Hellauer and Karen Van Hest.
So I had a question, Brooke, for the record. I don't recall being the champion for education and workforce development.
Dr. Pam Janelle, for the record, I know that we discussed moving some people around because I was like the second cousin on several of them. So I don't know if this was updated at that time or not. But I do know that with like the changes in membership, so I don't know if that's the most updated or not. So I would love if the group would help advise on that. Thank you.
Nolga Valadez, for the record, I believe this might not be updated because Dr. Janelle is not on the wraparound services, and so I believe it might not be updated.
Okay, well, let's update it live. So we can add Dr. Pamela Janelle under wraparound services.
Dr. Pam Janelle, that's why I hope I didn't misspeak about education and workforce development, because I thought I was on that one. So I could be the second cousin on that one.
Okay, so we do need to make a change under education and workforce development. Who should be the champion there?
Dr. Janelle, because we don't have Bill or Scott on this call, would you be willing to be the chair of the education and workforce development?
Oh, Dr. Pam Janelle, for the record, I would be honored to. And in the event that Mr. Ennis or either anyone else shows up, I would be more than happy to relinquish that. But just so that we can keep us moving forward, I'm honored to serve in that capacity.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay, any other changes that need to be made on here? All right, thank you for pulling this up, and I will report on behalf of the Housing Work Group. Austin and I have scheduled a meeting for the Housing Work Group to meet on Wednesday, January 10th at 3 p.m. And so an invitation has gone out. We're also anticipating a survey to go out in advance to kind of gather some feedback in preparation for that meeting. And so we've got a really good response to folks who want to participate in the housing work group. So it's really exciting. And also to update on the policy work group, there is a meeting scheduled for that on Tuesday, January 9th at 3:00 p.m. To discuss policies. And similarly, a survey will go out to kind of help prepare for that meeting as well. So looking forward to, and if anybody would like to participate and didn't get an invitation or wasn't aware, please connect with me, brooke.page@csh.org, and I'll make sure that you get an invitation. All right, any other updates from the committee?
This is Chris Murphy, for the
Hi,
record.
Chris.
I'll update on the coordination of data and resources. We did have a really good meeting, and thank you all that are on the call that participated in that. We had wonderful discussions on the issues that we're facing and sharing data in the state and bringing everything under one umbrella. And Michelle did send out a doodle poll on when we would like to have our ongoing meetings, and I have yet to see the results of that doodle poll, but we have started meeting, and we were having great discussions, and we're setting up regular meetings, I guess would be the summary that I would have of that meeting.
Great. Appreciate that. Okay, any other updates from champions? Is there any update from Balance Estate, COC, or our Southern Nevada COC?
This is
No?
Chris Murphy for the record for the Balance Estate COC. I sent out Naomi and my comments back to the chairperson on what we felt from what we know of the COC and what the COC is doing and what's in the policy and procedures for the strategic plan. And I've yet to hear anything back, but I'll follow up with Mary Jane. And now that everything has been submitted, and see if we can get something set up after the first of the year.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that, Chris. Appreciate that update. Any questions or any other updates? And I'm wondering, Niani, because I don't know if we have representation from somebody specifically from Southern Nevada to provide updates on the COC, but that might be an area where we might need to do some outreach.
Okay, we do not currently have a representative from the Southern COC.
Okay. All right. Okay, any other updates for the good of the order on this topic? Agenda item, okay, we'll close agenda item number 5 and go to agenda number 6. Again, information only. And this is discussion of agenda items for the next meeting on January 16th, 2024. There is a holiday on January 15th, 2023. And so we want to make sure that folks will be in attendance on January 16th, 2024, and want to make sure that folks will be in attendance. So maybe the first order of business is, should we have a meeting on January 16th, 2024? Any thoughts about that? Change that meeting date? Is anybody planning on not being around on that day?
Nolga Valadez for the record. What day? I'm so sorry. What day? The 16th?
Yes, the 16th.
Oh, okay. I'm good.
Okay. All right, so I don't hear any challenges, so we're going to keep the meeting on January 16th, 2024. Does anybody have any thoughts about potential agenda topics that we want to bring forward on the January meeting? Brooke, for the record, I think it would be great, Niani, if we could get a presentation from the Southern Nevada COC and maybe have a discussion with them about the strategic plan and ways to get updates from their work towards the strategic plan.
We will get to work on reaching out to someone there to get a presentation for the 16th.
Okay, any other topics or things happening that we should be aware of that we want to bring forward in the beginning of 2024? No items? Any thoughts? Okay, well, we've got our standing items. And I think we also wanted to have a review any interest from the open recruitment that we're going to be doing, to see if we've got any interest in our open positions. And so possible action to vote in new members if well, we would want to deliberate, I think, the interests. And I know in the past, Niani, we've done like a scoring criteria that we had the members of the committee review the interests and kind of score and rank those candidates. Would we want to kind of review that process or consider doing that in the interim?
I think you could definitely add to the agenda what you want the process to be, because usually we leave it open for a period of time.
Okay.
So then once there is a voting process, remember everything has to be publicly noticed. So probably a vote maybe at the February or March meeting
Okay.
after you guys deliberate or decide exactly what you want that process to be. So maybe that agenda item would be the process you guys want to take for the recruitment.
Okay. I think that sounds good. Any thoughts on that or concerns, questions? All right, so we'll discuss that. We've got our standing topics for champion reports. All right, any other topics? All right, seeing none, we will close item number 6 and move on to item number 7, which is our second public comment period. And so here, no action may be taken upon matter raised until the matter has been specifically added to the agenda. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. If you're making a public comment via phone, please call 1-775-321-6111. And the ID number is 847-321-658 and the pound sign. And we are now open for public comment. Please unmute yourself and state your name for the council. Okay, there are no public comment. Going once, going twice. Okay, we'll close agenda item number 7 and we are going to adjourn item number 8. So it is 1:42 p.m. and I will adjourn this meeting of the Interagency Council on Homelessness Housing Subcommittee Work Group. So thank you all. Hope you have a happy holiday. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Happy
everybody.
holiday.
Wow.
Awesome.
Adios.
See you in the new year. boards, jail guns. They can have a jail fight.